And so as we move into this area of the throat, which will be today and tomorrow, this area has to do with being able to speak your own truth with confidence. And I've been having a lot of conversations lately with people regarding that concept of truth. And the really important aspect of this, this chakra is to be able to also make space for other people's truths that might not be the same as yours. And that can be hard to do. That can be hard to do, especially if you feel really strongly about something, right? But to have that balance of recognizing, okay, this is my truth and I'm going to be confident about it and I'm going to speak it. I'm not, and the confidence about it is the important thing, but confidence can also be confidence in recognizing that we're all connected and we all have a different perspective. And sometimes we all have different beliefs. And that's kind of the beauty of being human and being a part of a community. So we're going to come to a comfortable seat. And as you come to your comfortable seat, if you think of the shape of your spine all the way from the tail up to the upper palate, which is technically where the spine ends, then we're going to try to create the natural curves that are supposed to be there. So again, our lumbar spine, our low back curve is supposed to match our neck curve, our C-spine or cervical spine curve. So a little tilt of your pelvis so that your belly can come a little forward helps create that. And then our thoracic spine curve or our upper back is meant to go the opposite direction. So that's supposed to go back, okay? And then our C-spine curve should curve in the same way as our lumbar spine curve. And you can reach up and feel it and see. Sometimes it's hard to tell on yourself. It helps to have someone look at you. Someday I'll look at all of your C-spines again in person. So now as you lengthen up through the back of your neck, think even more so of lengthening through your upper palate, okay? And as you let your eyes close, take a moment here with these curves to your spine and take a full breath. And you can even bring that awareness to your breath of moving from your crown to your tail on the inhale. And from your tail to your crown on the exhale. And even more so, think of moving down the front of you on the inhale and up the back of you on the exhale. Full inhale. Long, deep exhale. As you take these breaths a couple more times, just begin to give yourself any information that's showing up in your body. Anything showing up for tension or stiffness, aches or pains. Or maybe your body feels remarkably open today, and if so, just simply notice. And now if you'd like to, you can take the mudra. Middle fingers on both hands drop down to touch the meaty part of your thumb. And then your thumb wraps over to hold your finger there. Palms are facing up on your legs. And then you take a couple more big breaths here. Feel free to add the mantra of I follow and speak my own truth. I follow and speak my own truth. And now connecting hands together at heart center. Take a full deep inhale and grow even taller. Exhale, bow toward your heart. Then softly release your hands down and give your shoulders a little move up and back, Lengthen up the back of your neck and then take a couple of ear to shoulders, ear to shoulders. And we'll work through our neck a little bit. And as you move this way through your neck, just notice if one side feels any more tense than the other side or if they feel about the same. And as your head comes over to the right side, keeping it there, you can either just let your head settle to the side or you can hold on to it with your right hand. Left shoulder blade moves onto your back and then add a little bit of movement up and down with your chin. And then inhale back into center. Exhale, take left ear to left shoulder. And again, you can simply keep it in this direction or you can hold on to it. Feel free to hold on to it or not, your choice. Move your right shoulder blade onto your back and then take a little up and down movement with your chin. Inhale back up to center, and as you move your shoulder blades onto your back, tuck your chin down, shake your head no toward the ground, giving the back of your neck a little length. Physically clearing through any of these areas of our body where our energy centers are. It's just a really great way to help us open up for ourselves in these areas. Very physically helps us to open. So now lift up through your chin, shoulder blades are on your back, and as you do this, still think of length through the back of your neck. So instead of shrinking the back of your neck to tilt your chin up, shoulder blades are on your back and you have length and space. And from this place, you get to notice if this is a lot for your neck, then maybe bring your chin down a little ways and create more space. Wherever that is for you, if it feels good, you're going to take a couple of half circles. Up and over and up and over a few times. Then as your chin comes over to the left side, nod your head to the left. Then up and over to the right side and nod your head to the right. And then back into center now. And roll shoulders back. And roll shoulders forward. And now back to center here. Switch the cross of your legs, coming to the less comfortable cross for yourself. And then shift your sitting bones. And now from here, we're going to take our hands behind the back of our head to clasp. So not the back of your neck, but the back of your head. And lengthen the back of your neck. Put your shoulder blades on your back. Open your elbows up. And now press your head back into your hands. And as you do that, notice what's happening with your low ribs. If you're like me, then your low ribs just popped forward a little bit. So now engage your low ribs to support that area of your back where your kidneys are. And then press your head back again. Take a really big inhale and lift your chest, even as you stay strong through your low ribs on the exhale. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, engage through the core. And now release your hands down. Give your shoulders a little move back. And then take right ear to your right shoulder. Exhale, chin down into your chest. Inhale, left ear to your left shoulder. Exhale, chin down into your chest. One more time. Inhale, right ear to right shoulder. Exhale, chin to your chest. Inhale, left ear to left shoulder. Exhale, chin to your chest. And then lifting up tall, this time we're going to do a little bit more warm up through shoulders. So clasp your thumbs and set your hands on top of your head if that's comfortable. Might need to be a little more forward if your shoulders are really tight. but pull against your thumbs, like you're trying to pull them apart, but you're not gonna let that happen. And then put shoulder blades onto your back, and you're making more space for your neck. Keep lengthening through the crown, even as you start to lift your hands up overhead, keep shoulder blades on your back. Come to that place where your body can stay in control with your shoulder blades. Good, take one more big breath now and lift your chest up a little higher, little tiny back bend. And then release your hands. Give your shoulders a little roll back. And now clasp your thumbs the other way. And then set your hands on top of your head. And then pull apart with your thumbs. Plug shoulder blades in. Lengthen the crown of your head up into your hands. And then from this place, start to lift. Keep shoulder blades engaging onto your back, even as you lift your arms. Come to that place that's right for your body. And then as you engage your low ribs, start to lift your chest a little higher, taking that little tiny bit of a back bend. And exhale, release your arms down again, shoulders roll back. And then come forward onto hands and knees. And from hands and knees, settle hips all the way back towards your heels into your child's pose. And I want you to set your forehead on something. So even if that means that you need to put it on a prop, make sure your forehead is resting, because then you're going to allow a little side to side movement that will massage across your forehead and allow some turn through your neck. Then back into center here and push yourself up to a seat. And it can be on your knees. It can be sitting cross-legged if that feels better in your body. But now we'll take our lion's breath and really open up a little bit more through the throat. Okay, so I'll show you how that looks in case you're not familiar. And then we'll do 3 of them together. So, and remember, you're at home, so it doesn't matter how you look or how you sound, right? It's more important that you get a strong sound at the back of your throat. So hands come right to your upper thighs at your hip creases, and you'll inhale, sit tall. Exhale, heart comes forward. You stick your tongue out, open your eyes up wide, and make a sound. So in kids yoga, I call this the lion's yawn, but it's really the lion's roar, okay? So inhale, sit tall. Exhale. 2 more. And then as you sit back up, take a moment with your eyes closed to simply feel. You might have to swallow if that dried out your throat a little bit, but notice the energy. And now come forward onto hands and knees. And from hands and knees, set yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Rotate elbow pits forward and push, expanding into the upper back. And now notice your neck and head. Lift your head up so it's into the back plane of your body. And that doesn't mean tilt your chin forward, but lift the back of your head up. Now tuck your toes under, and as you lift your hips up and back into your down dog, try to be in that same position with your spine so that your C-spine, your neck, is in line with the rest of your spine. So often here, we drop our head down and look back, but keep a little tone. Take a full big breath. And from here, if you want to start doing that breath at the back of your throat, your ujjayi, you're welcome to. This is a really wonderful way to warm up through the throat, to really warm up through the entire body. So a little movement. Rise to tiptoes. And then walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Feet can be inner hip distance or wider. Good bend to your knees here so your belly can rest. And then from here, if it's in your practice, you can clasp behind the back of your neck, giving a little pull down onto the base of your skull. Little additional movement here, swaying. But if this doesn't feel good, again, you can always have your elbows up onto your thighs. If that feels better on the low back, your choice. We'll take 3 more deep breaths here. And again, If ujjayi feels good to you, then you're welcome to make that sound at the back of your throat, like the ocean. Then releasing hands down, plant fingertips. They can be on blocks here if you want. Step your right foot back into your lunge. Knee up or down, your choice. And inhale, reach up, coming to your lifted lunge. If you want, take gratitude. Or one of my favorite places to help me open up through the chest and the neck is to clasp hands. So your choice there. Center with your hips, settle a little deeper. Take a full breath. Lengthen the back of your neck. Think of your chest lifting upward, big opening through your heart as you open through the back of your neck. Then releasing your hands down, find your blocks here and we'll take a forward fold over a hamstring stretch. So work your front leg towards straight and center off with your hips. So we don't very often fold here. We often stay long through our spine. So we'll find that first. Sitting bones lift, extend your heart. And now, if you would like to, you can round through the upper back. Sitting bones still lift up, so you create more of a lumbar curve, but your upper back gets to round and your chin tucks in just a little bit. Full big deep breath. Inhale, extend your heart, bend into your front knee and step forward. Exhale, left foot steps back, center off your hips here, and then rise up. And as you come to your version of lunge, again, remember, you can take gratitude, you can clasp, you get to decide. Find lots of length through the back of your neck, shoulder blades are engaged, and if you're clasping, press palms, keep elbows bent and hugging back. Take a big breath. Exhaling, hands come down to the front of your mat, find your blocks, and work your front leg towards straight. And we'll pause here and find the hip alignment, so wrap your right hip back. Big toe mound pushes down on your right leg, send sitting bones up. And extend your heart. And then if it's in your practice, you can exhale and round your upper back. The thoracic spine gets to round here like a cat pose. Chin tucks in, but still try to tilt your sitting bones up. This is a tricky balance to find. Take a big deep breath. Inhale, extend your heart, bend into your front knee and step forward. Exhale, fold over your legs as deeply as your body needs. Back of your neck gets long, couple big breaths. Hands to hips, press your hips back, start to lift up and open through the shoulders, and then bring your C-spine into alignment. Long back of your neck, inhale, rise. And now as you come up to a standing position, we'll take a wide stance. You can bring your blocks with you here if you would like, but we'll take a few poses from our wide stance. Feet approximately wrist distance apart. And pinky toe edges parallel to each other to begin with. And then notice for yourself a little bend to your knees, hands to your hips. And as you push your hips back and start to draw your heart forward, extend your heart. Exhale, fold. As you fold, find maybe some place for your hands to rest or your elbows to rest. And then bend one knee at a time so that you can have a little more waking up through the hamstrings. And now back into center. Keep that little micro bend, but send your sitting bones up and extend your heart forward. And then bring your hands up to your hips and rise. And now turn right foot out. And with your right leg staying straight, shift your hips back. And then extend your heart. Bring your right hand into your hip crease and give it a push. Don't let your knee hyperextend here, but instead think of creating that hip space. Extending your heart, you might then bring your hand down to a block on the inside or the outside of your right leg, your choice. Wrap your right hip down and under even as you push your big toe mound down on your right foot. Then notice your back leg and rotate your inner thigh back like your heel is going to try to swing out, but you're not going to let it because it's set. Now turn your belly, turn your heart more open, lengthen the back of your neck. If it feels good on your neck, you can take your gaze up. If it doesn't, keep it straight ahead or even aimed down. Try to keep that length through your neck so you're not dropping your head down. Take a full big breath, maybe stretch your top arm up. Good, top hand back to your hip. Push into the floor with your feet and rise back up. And now turn your feet parallel. And then turn your left foot out. And then your left leg again stays straight. Use your glute wrapping to help your knee turn more toward the pinky toe edge, even as you push your big toe mound down. Those two actions need to work hand in hand with each other. Now, hip crease pushes back. So take your left hand into your hip crease, push it back, even as you extend your heart. And then you can bring your hand down to a block or the floor, inside or outside. The only place you don't want to rest it is directly on the shin, because that tends to push your knee back. You want to keep that micro bend. And then turn your belly and your heart upward if that's in your practice. Maybe turn your gaze upward, but really ultimately find where your neck feels good. If you want, you can stretch top arm to the sky. One more big breath. And then top hand back to your hip and rise all the way back up. Turn your feet parallel and then walk your feet in. And now, as you come to the front of your mat, feet are inner hip distance and parallel. Lift and spread your toes and then root them down. Hands together at your heart. Close your eyes and take a moment to lengthen the back of your neck. Tune back into that breath with sound if that's in your practice. Inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen partway. Exhale, fold. Plant hands, and this time step all the way back, downward facing dog pose. Take a full big breath. And remember, neck in line with your spine. Inhale, come forward into a plank. Knees can always come down here. This is one of those places where we tend to collapse through shoulders and the neck. So rotate elbow pits forward and push. Lift your head to the back plane of your body. Take a full inhale here, tone your belly. Exhale, bend your elbows and lower down, coming all the way down onto your belly. And from this place, set your legs up. Reach back with one leg at a time, and then root down through tops of feet, knees, and then engage your low belly, engage your low ribs. Inhale, curl up and open through your shoulders, and you might rise up to a higher version of Cobra if that feels good. But then notice your neck. Instead of tilting your head way back, keep your neck in line with your spine. Long, full, deep breath. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. And now lower to knees, push hips back to heels, take a child's pose. And now gently push yourself up to a seat. So we're going to take our variation of our shoulder stand here. And you have your choice. I'll show you first where you can go if you have decided that your neck and shoulders are not ready to be in a full shoulder stand. So if you would like to take an even more modified version, then you're going to set something like a bolster or a block underneath your hips and lift your legs. This right here is a modified version of shoulder stand, okay? So if you would like to come to the wall for your shoulder stand, We're going to take blankets to the edge of our shoulders so that our head can be on the ground and our shoulders are lifted, creating a C-spine curve. So you're going to move the blankets a little ways from the wall so that the edge of the blankets can be at your shoulders. And what I want you to think about is not so much whether or not you can pop right up into a shoulder stand, but keeping the neck super safe, okay? So you're going to sit toward the wall and then find the place where your hips can be toward the wall and your shoulders can be right at the edge of the blanket. So sometimes that takes a little bit of maneuvering, okay? So I maneuver 3 or 4 times, and then shoulders at the edge, head off, so that my neck has some curve. Elbows come to my blankets, feet to the wall, knees are bent. And then from this place, inch your shoulder blades toward each other, press shoulders down, gentle press of your head, press your feet into the wall and start to lift your hips up so that you're starting to allow your hips to rise up toward the shoulders. And you may have to adjust a couple times to find where that is for you. And now, if you would like to, hands can come back behind your hips and you can lift your legs away from the wall. If keeping your feet on the wall feels the best to you, then that's okay too. Couple big breaths wherever that is. Think of reaching either through the feet or through the thighs. Think of reaching the tailbone toward the ceiling a little bit, but then move the inner thighs back so you create a lumbar curve. Full big deep breath. Wherever that is, and you might just try one leg at a time. You might try both legs. You might not try to lift your legs at all. That's okay. Keep your head and neck in line so you're not trying to turn and look, but you're just looking up with a little press gently down with your head. And then slowly, if your feet are away from the wall, bring your feet back to the wall and gently lower your hips back down. Roll over to your side and push yourself up gently. Sometimes that can be a head rush place. So now, counter pose to our shoulder stand is our fish pose. And fish pose, again, can be modified, okay? So laying on your back, modification is elbows pressed down, and you're gonna keep your hips down and your shoulders down, but lift your back up. So you might have to do a little inching of shoulder blades toward each other, but then you're just creating a big lift through your back. Or if you'd like to try fish pose, rising up onto your elbows, then you're gonna set your hands underneath your bum. And then rise up onto your elbows, and then expand your chest and let your head come down. This is a great place to allow that opening through the chest. Press down with elbows here, shoulder blades are engaged. You can take feet together into a butterfly or extend them out long. Take a full big breath. Notice any parts here that might not feel great being in more of a deep version of the pose. And always, always, always come to where it's right for your body. Listening to your own personal truth right here. And then gently lower your back down. Lower your hips down off of your hands if they were on them. Drop your knees in together to touch. One hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. And take a moment here for a full breath. And then take whatever pose you need for Shavasana. Starting to come into a comfortable rest. You might take a couple of rocks with your knees first if you have any tension through the back. You might set a rolled up blanket underneath your neck. Tune into what would feel the best to you to be able to rest in Shavasana. awareness back to your breath. And gently move through fingers and toes. And gently bend your knees and roll to one side. And slowly push yourself up to your seat. The mudra, if you would like, taking middle fingers down to the base of your thumb, and then wrap your thumbs over your middle fingers. Palms are up. And as you take a couple big breaths with your eyes closed, you can tune into that mantra again if you would like. I follow and speak my own truth. I follow and speak my own truth. And connect palms together at the heart. Draw them to your third eye and back to heart center. And bow toward your heart. Have a very peaceful and beautiful day. Namaste.